The big block modifieds put on a whale of a show last night at Fallujah, but it's time for 100 laps of truck racing back at Five Flags. 23 drivers on the entry blank make up our largest field of the week, and it's go time. Welcome to Pit Stop TV for EPI Speedweek, continuing on at the virtual Five Flags Speedway. I'm Andrew Cardano IV with Emerson Arden alongside, and we're back in Pensacola finally, and Emerson, trucks at a half-mile short track isn't a crazy idea, but this short track changes things up a bit.
Absolutely. It's fantastic to be here at a virtual Five Flags Speedway here in virtual Pensacola, Florida. Beautiful track. Again, a track I've been so excited to see because of just the kind of rep it gets, but not the usage on the sim that I'd expect from a track like this. And, of course, home of the Snowball Derby. Can't wait to see what these trucks can do on it tonight, though.
Yeah, let's move into the sim and take a look as practice comes to a close. Let's take a look at the track map first off. And this place is pretty special to short track racing. Now, we don't have a truck series lap time here, but we do know that trucks are lapping in the mid-16s, about 16.5 so far, leading practice for Alex McCullum. In fact, let's bring up the ticker and take a look at things. Alex McCullum leading over Tommy Gossett. That is Colton Davis in third. Marco Ercolani, our admin from the last few nights, in fourth. And Blade Timmons makes up your entire top five. We've got some pretty important drivers in this field, though, such as Garrett Maines, Dustin Monburquette, Matt Cucker, Vicente Salas. A lot of big names in short track racing and oval racing as a whole in this field tonight, Emerson.
Absolutely. There's a lot of talent in this field tonight, Andrew, and I think that's going to make qualifying all the more important because it's going to be quite the challenge to work your way through the field this evening. So I think the drivers who can stay up front, who can start up front and stay up front are going to be the ones, obviously, to benefit. And yeah, it's going to be the key to really doing well tonight.
A 5-minute qualifying session for 2 laps apiece is about to open up, and it does, as Joel Smith will be the first truck on track, it looks like. Let's go on board and take a look at what it's like to drive a truck here at Five Flags Speedway. It's not the easiest thing. We've been saying that for a couple of nights now, going back to the midgets on Tuesday, the big blocks last night, and how about trucks here at Five Flags Speedway? On board with Joel Smith, right up the outside wall, now diving into the first and second corners, and you see already a bobble here for Joel, a little bit loose in the center of the corner.
Yeah, while the track on paper, it looks almost like a perfect, round oval, there's a lot of bumps here that can really upset the trucks here that these trucks are going to be battling with there. And, of course, you want to watch your exit there. Boniface there coming off the corner. Gets a little loose. He stops and resets. We're looking at Rich Petrucco here in the 27 machine. He's running that second link and a nice arc out of the turn 4.
Colton Davis straight to the top of the board. Joel Smith now going to retry his attempt onto lap number 2, down the back straightaway and into turn 3. One of the top prospects from RaceEPI.com, and up out of the final corner to cross the line. It's loose, and it's around for Joel Smith. No good lap of record. Petrucco, though, will go third, and does he go any better? No, he will stay third place as John Owlett goes to the 4th position. And now he will drop Eric McCarthy to 4th, Dustin Monburquette to 6th, Tommy Gossett to 7th, Alex McCullum is on track.
Gossett goes to 2nd, watching McCullum here, who led and paced the field in practice, fighting the wheel up on exit. McCullum, 3rd quickest. And
that was just lap 1, but he's not going to give lap 2 a go. Let's go on board with Garrett Maines. And he comes to a stop, actually, so it looks like his run is done quickly. How about Matt Cucker, a big-time guy over on the short track side of things? And, I came up, in my time on iRacing, running a lot of short track leagues, straight stocks, late models, that kind of thing. And one of the leagues that I frequented, actually, for a while was Sarah, S-A-R-A, and Matt Cucker is a big name over there. So that's where I know this guy from, and at least know the name. I know he's big, again, in short track racing. His first lap on track, it is a 17.077. Struggling a little bit. Usually runs things like late models. A truck is a little different from Matt, as he goes 12th on the board so far. Vicente Salas also on track. An NASCAR iRacing Coca-Cola Series driver last season, and fighting through the Pro Series this season into the winter. And the factory number 14 comes across the line, and unfortunately, the factory canopies machine will not go any faster. Garrett Maines, though, on track as well in number 31. He finally sets a time, and he goes 10th.
Yeah, we're seeing, some of the guys that we were really expecting to do well tonight, like a couple of the pro drivers there. Matt Cucker not setting the times well, Cucker goes fourth quickest, which is, you know, very respectable in this talented of a field, but the pro driver struggling a little bit here. And again, you know, this is not a typical car track combo. The trucks rarely see 5 flags at officials in leagues. Just not a lot of time doing this particular combo on the sim.
You saw there for a moment Vicente Salas taking some extra laps during this qualifying session. He ran at least 4, and there were a few drivers that did that as well, such as Colton Davis, Alex McCollum, and that's something I always like when I see a driver use the extra laps. They can keep running, even though they won't count. They can keep running laps just to get practice and see how the tires might break in a little bit over the course of 5 or 10 or even 15 laps if they're able to get that many in a qualifying session. Sometimes you can, but I always like when drivers go that extra mile, if you will, or sometimes extra 4 or 5 miles, and run those extra laps. It's very important sometimes as a driver, especially if the setup is new to you, if you made a couple of big adjustments. It's very important to get those extra laps, and especially if we look at the weather, it's 76 degrees in the air, 77 on track. It's a pretty cool track temp, just below iRacing defaults in the air. Kind of an interesting set of track conditions for night number 4 here.
Yeah, absolutely. And tonight the track temp is going to be more of a factor here on the asphalt here at Virtual Pensacola, Florida's 5 Flags Speedway. The 77-degree track temp, that's going to be a little cool, and it's going to take a little bit for these tires to warm up, so these drivers may struggle for grip here in the opening set of laps.
It looks like no other drivers will make an attempt, as Joel Smith, at least, he's one of the drivers that will not complete a qualifying run. But Robert Lawrence, Eli Childs, and Justin Laxton will make no attempt. They will not complete any laps here during their qualifying session, and they will go nowhere on the board. So, of course, if you want to start first, you have to at least get on track, but that's not going to happen for those guys. So our starting field is set as qualifying comes to a close. A big shout out to our partners here at Pits.tv, of course, Whiplash Media, SimCams, SimRepMarket.com, and Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine. And, of course, a big shout out to Elite Performance Industries putting on this week of racing, of course, EPI Speed Week. This is night number 4, and trucks, not cars, but trucks, ready to go for 100 laps here in Pensacola. Of course, they just hosted the Snowball Derby. Let's see how trucks do, and let's meet our starting grid tonight. On pole, Colton Davis in car 20. Tommy Gossett will start from second. Starting third, though, on the inside of row number 2, somebody who's already made a lot of noise. It's Alex McCullum in car number 1. Matt Cucker will roll off from 4th. Starting 5th, it's going to be Bailey Dutton. Rich Petrucco joins him on that row. And starting 7th on the inside of row number 4, it's John Gifford with Mario Ercolani, admin turned driver, starting from 8th position. To round out your top 10, it's John Allett in car 8. And how about Garrett Maines, the pro driver, starting from 10th.
Row number 6 will find a 17 of Blade Timmons, 51 of Kyle Ammon there will start in the 12th position. 13th will find the 87 of Eric McCarthy. 14th will find Dustin Mamba Barquette there in the number 16 truck. 15th position will find a 14 of Vicente Salas. Jeb Jones will start 16th there in the 21 truck. Row number 9 will find the 95 of Matthew Boniface, and the 53 of Justin Laxton will start in 18th. Running at the top 20, there will be the 2 of Joel Smith and the 9 of Eli Childs, and Robert Lawrence will round out the 21 car grid.
21 trucks ready to go racing here again for 100 laps. And what we were told earlier in the week, and I believe is still the case, is there are no extra tires for these drivers. If somebody out there has better knowledge, by all means let us know in the chat. But what we were told is there are no extra tires, and that's a long ways to go. I'd have to imagine they have one set of tires for this race, right? At least one in the pits that they can put on. We call those change tires, but what we've been told is no sets for 100 laps, and it can be done, certainly, but that is quite a ways to go.
And yeah, on the info tab, Andrew, that is correct. There is no tire changing in this race. So it's going to be all about really, preserving your stuff. How hard you go early, especially if you're a front runner under heavy attack. You're going to play the little give and take game, right? You're going to, evaluate what kind of position and, what your situation is when you encounter a battle.
So tire management on the forefront of everybody's mind here. All 21 trucks as we get ready to go racing. There were 23 entered, so a couple of drivers not making the call tonight, losing their chance at some big money for this race. Kind of interesting. pay some money to enter but not show up and race. But hey, those guys, they must know who they are. Hopefully they show tomorrow night, maybe for some late models on dirt. In fact, let's talk about upcoming broadcasts quickly as we continue pace laps here at Five Flags. Later tonight at 8:30 Eastern, we've got GT3 racing from VIR. Tomorrow night, it's pro late models and super late models from the dirt at Fallujah. And, oh, that actually still says Thursday, but Saturday night, rather, on December 10th, we have modifieds right back here at Five Flags, both SK modifieds and tour type modifieds on the half mile. But that is it for pre-race, Emerson. We're about to go racing officially here at Five Flags Speedway. The green flag is going to fly very, very quickly up out of the restart zone, and green flag is out for the trucks. 100 laps. Let's go. And unfortunately, you can see lap 1. We've wadded a few of them up. Garrett Maines, one of them, Robert Lorenz, John Allett, John Gifford.
Yeah, John Gifford, a name we've seen here on the channel before, are involved in that early one. He started up towards the front, and I think was one of the first trucks to clip the inside wall there into turn number 1. And again, you know, you kind of, you know, run your hot laps, you run a couple pace laps. There's a little bit of time in there. One of the first times these trucks go in there as a whole pack of trucks, and he might have been contacted from the rear there on entry, but yeah, looks like he just got the left front.
Garrett Maines actually is going to be the catalyst in all of this. Interesting enough, down to turn 1. Garrett starting from the 10th position. Let's ride on board with him for this replay, and you'll be able to watch the entire start. This is from Garrett Maines' perspective. He dives quickly to the inside across the start-finish and just gets in deep. John Gifford was not trying to get in quite that deep into the first corner, and they all just wad him up.
Yeah, big hits there for a good chunk of drivers there. Looks like 4 drivers taken to the pit lane for damage, and Blade Timmons also heading to pit lane as well.
This includes John Allett, who goes up the track. It includes big time the 51 there of Kyle Ammon. And it sounds like Blade Timmons might have gotten a little bit of damage as well. The truck looks okay, maybe some right front damage there for truck number 15, but we continue on, at the very least, and we are under caution, of course. These guys still have at least 1 lap of caution to go, even after this one, as it's lap 4. Pace car lights are still on, and Garrett Maines, I'm not sure he's going to make it back out as he is in the pits, and that truck is torn up.
Yeah, no faster pairs tonight. 100 laps, you know, at Five Flags isn't all that long, but, you know, it's a little bit of an endurance race feeling already with a lot of vehicles in trouble with damage. We're going to have quite a few trucks going a lap down. John Allett has already called it a night, and it's a rough start for these guys.
We do have several vehicles in the pit lane. Blade Timmons, Kyle Ammon, and Mario Ercolani. And Mario did get a bunch of left side damage there in his race, EPI.com. Number 41 Toyota Tundra Pro, or TRD Pro rather. And there's a look at Blade Timmons right at our camera, interestingly enough, and Kyle Ammon right behind him as they overlap a little bit in the pit lane. But Ercolani still in the pits, Maines still in the pits, Gifford still in the pits, and rough nights beginning for them. But our leaders will cross the start-finish line and wrap up lap 5, and pace car lights, almost said pace truck lights, pace car lights have been extinguished, Emerson. That means we're going back green flag racing this time.
Yes, it is. Colton Davis and Tommy Goss at the front row. We saw just how aggressive Garrett Maines was on the initial start. He's actually just called it a night, but I can imagine the aggression is going to stay pretty high here with how packed up we are. So here we go.
The pace car will head back down to the safety of pit lane, and green flag is back out in the restart zone. We're off and away one more time at Five Flags. One lap complete under green. There we go, and it's a side-by-side. Oh, no, it's a crash. Unfortunate. That was terrible timing. Jeb Jones involved, Robert Lorenz, Mario Ercolani involved in this one.
Timmons has already left. So not a... Looks like it's a very slow start for tonight's 100 lapper here. We'll get a look at what happened there out of turn 4.
Well, you know what, Emerson, we knew this would be a bit of an odd combo for these trucks here, but they got through that first lap nicely, and then something happened. Oh, there was a big checkup on the bottom, and I think there was an issue between Boniface and maybe the 21 truck of Jeb Jones.
Yeah, Jeb Jones kind of came to frame a little weird there. So a little curious to see what happened to the 21 machine.
So he gets passed up by Vicente, and then right there, Boniface gets into the 21, and Jones blinks, and then comes back, and at that point, they just start wadding him up out of the fourth corner.
Yeah, I don't know if it was in a response to Jeb Jones being spun or just separate incidents, but nonetheless, we had to chunk him up there out of 4.
There's the onboard for Ercolani as he takes a bunch more damage. He'll head back down the pit lane this time, but Mario's view at the very least of what happens here. One truck goes way out. That's the 15. And Ercolani actually just comes to a nice stop. That was really good wreck avoidance. That would pass the challenges on NASCAR 07 and NASCAR 08. That was really good stopping from Ercolani there.
Yeah, make sure those brakes work early, and yeah, he's going to be able to trust himself a little bit more. So Ercolani keeping out of trouble here.
Here comes Kyle Ammon back into the pit lane in truck 51. I think he got a little more contact, and all of that, of course, was involved in the first incident. So, as you said, Emerson, a slow start, but we have still worked off 10 laps already. So, even if this stays a little bit slow going, we'll get these laps in one way or another. Matthew Boniface, it looks like, has been taken to the rear of the field behind Jeb Jones, who got a little bit of damage from all of that, and Robert Lawrence and Mario Ercolani. So, they all get sorted out. Up front, it's still Colton Davis, Tommy Gossett, Alex McCullum, your top 3, and an Emerson. I know we don't have much of a sample size to get going here, but who do you take out of these 3?
Well, obviously I've seen quite a bit from Tommy Gossett to kind of know what he brings to the table, but I'm gonna go with Alex McCullum because he's just had a lot of pace over the course of the week, and I know that was on dirt, but just seems like he's very confident in his abilities, so we'll see here.
Through turns 3 and 4, the field gets doubled up one more time, and we'll go back green flag racing once more onto lap 13. Green flag back in the air at 5 flags. And caution will fly once more. Man, a punishing start here. Dustin Monberquette turned around this time, and it looks like he is the sole truck that has issue this time.
Yeah, Monberquette avoids damage there, spinning as he entered turn number 3, but that's not going to be a good deal to the tires, which you cannot change in this race.
This will be on board. He started towards the front of the field, actually was running in about the 5th position, 6th position. Might have been turned around from behind. Does a slide and stops right. Oh, and he actually got hit there in the nose and noses it into that tire there at the end of the pit wall. He definitely caught somebody as they went by, and I'm not sure who that was. The contact from behind, it looks like, is actually, no, there was no contact initially. He checked up to Miss Bailey Dutton, and then coming on through was the 9 of Eli Childs, who has since taken to the pit lane in that number 9 Toyota and is taking some repairs.
Yeah, a little bit of right front fender damage for the number 9 truck, but of course, I think very fortunate that it wasn't any worse for the number 9. And as far as Monberquette, that's pretty easy to do at these short tracks, because you kind of run a pretty wild brake bias. There's gonna be a lot of rear brake to try to slow these trucks down there, and with the little checkup there, probably broke a little bit harder than he anticipated, and the rear end just kind of came around there.
Comes in for quick repairs, maybe to top off on fuel, and Monberquette back out on track in truck 16 rather. The front of the field, though, we'll get ready to go back going one more time. We should get the lights extinguished this time by the start finish, I would imagine, as Barney holds the flag nice and high. And it will be the 1 to green signal, so trucks double back up, warming the tires up, scrubbing them off one more time. And we still have well over 80 laps to go. In fact, we'll have 83 to go at the drop of the green here to restart this race. Emerson, These guys are chomping at the bit. Even at the restart, or coming to the restart here, the pace laps, they are chomping at the bit, wanting to get back going. They want to waste no time. That's going to condense everything, and we'll see some more aggression, I think, for sure, as the green flag will fly once more here from Five Flags. Truck racing once again. And right there goes around Rich Petrucco. Got turned in turn 3.
And that's a lot of rear end damage to number 27 truck. And Andrew, I'm having a feeling here where we're probably going to struggle her for a little bit here. And it's because this track, yeah, you know, Five Flags, it's known for its short track racing, but let's be real, the straightaways are pretty short. It's really hard to set up a pass here. They try to get all you can on these straightaways, or on these restarts. And right there, the truck behind just gets into the 27 there, being a little aggressive on the brakes.
That was Chente making contact from behind, and truck number 19 scored as truck 14. Here's the onboard. Yeah, I mean, he just hit him. There's really nothing else to say. Unfortunately for Chente's case, he just got in deep. He just got into Rich Petrucco and turned him around and crashed him. And as a result, there has been a penalty issued, it looks like, to Vicente. He has come into the pit lane, but I believe that would have been an EOL regardless for causing the incident, as we've seen a couple of times earlier this week. So he'll get back on the racetrack. And now we hit lap 20, and Emerson, we've seen one lap by the leaders completed under green, not so much by the rest of the field. We're going to see some big moves on these restarts, unfortunately. These guys still have a lot of ways to go. We've run 20 laps, 17 of them under caution, and from the get-go, these drivers were told we have a hard out, 8:05. That's the latest we can go on this broadcast. As we mentioned, that we have the North American Racing League quickly after this. It's up to these drivers how many laps they get in, and quickly, we're starting to see these guys be aggressive. We've seen that all night long so far. 16 trucks, though, still in the field as green flag will fly once more. On the restart, you see McCullum, he's got the edge finally on Tommy Gossett. Not a great start for Truck 3, as it's side-by-side for fourth between Cucker and Dutton. Cucker with the advantage up top. Finally, that restart goes, and Joel Smith on the outside of Dutton now following through.
Yeah, they race on here, and you see Dutton trying to get that run up off the corner. Can't get the throttle down. Joel Smith hanging tough on the outside there and trying to clear in front of that 26. They'll do so off of turn number 2.
Now the first side-by-side falls back to Mario Urkelani and Matthew Boniface. Cars 41 and 95 side-by-side up out of the fourth corner. On to lap 25, we start to get into a little bit of rhythm, dare I say. Up front, though, Colton Davis has a healthy lead over Alex McCullum. Tommy Gossett, though, dealing with Matt Cucker from behind.
And Tommy Gossett started up second position, has already lost one spot to Alex McCullum. Matt Cucker piling on the pressure here. Cucker, you know, very experienced in this track type. Maybe not necessarily the trucks, but has gotten used to it very quickly. Has adapted very well so far. Started fourth and is looking to go up one spot here. We looked to the inside there, out of 4, could not get down there.
Here's the onboard from the nose of Matt Cucker's Chevrolet. I believe it's Toyota, actually, as we look at the Chevrolet of Tommy Gossett. And there's Joel Smith starting to ease his way into this fight. Third, fourth, and fifth.
And Cucker, he is already searching. He's actually looking to try to get to the outside. Can't get there. And he does. He gets to the outside of Gossett.
So the 12 working his way on the outside this time of the 3. And Tommy gives him room up top. And the setup that both Colton Davis and Tommy Gossett are running, it seems, is topping out really quickly on the straightaways, and that's holding them back on this short run. But Emerson, as these tires wear off and they can't run quite as quick at the end of the straightaway, that might come in later in this race. Meanwhile, Cucker, he's got a truck that is built certainly for this short run and is making up time right now on Tommy Gossett. Side by side still, but the edge goes to car 12.
Not clear yet, but nearly clear. They're coming up off the corner. Gossett had a nice drive to the center of 3 and 4. And you're right, Andrew, that setup where they're revving out now, that's going to help them rotate later in the race because the higher rev is just going to get the truck turned a little bit more to the corner. And there we go. Cooker is clear to the 3rd position.
Lap 31 now complete of 100. There's some battles further back. How about Mario Ercolani and Robert Lawrence? This is for 8th position. Worth mentioning that Jeb Jones is still in this race, but he has fallen to 15th and is 5 laps down. Kyle Ammon had an issue on the restart and has fallen back to 14th along with Eli Childs.
Yeah, Vicente Salas also disconnected there a couple laps after the restart, so only 15 trucks still connected and 14 still running.
And I'm noticing, actually, what's going on here for Tommy Gossett. The setup they've built, it's only running 2nd gear, Emerson, so he's still got 3rd if he wants to use it, but he's staying in 2nd and revving out really early. So doing it a bit of a modified way, where they only have 2 gears, and the modifieds, we'll see that on Saturday, they have a restart gear and a race gear, basically, and it's just 1st, quick shift into 2nd, and that's all they've got. So, and it's the same kind of concept here as Mom Burkett actually is going to come into the pit lane, so problems for the 16, but Tommy Gossett, that is definitely some interesting setup moves that's working out for him.
You know what? It helps out, especially on those restarts. It hasn't looked that way, but imagining to get from 1st gear all the way to 4th gear in a quick span of time is not all that easy. So making it just a 2-gear setup, it's just 1 gear change, head into turn number 1, and you're all good to continue racing on.
You also have more gear options at that point to lengthen or shorten the gears, because there's only, you can only go so short with NASCAR gearing, and this being a really short track, really short straightaways, you can only get so short with the gears. So if you lengthen the gear actually and run a lower gear, you get more options. You can get some more, I guess, finesse out of what you're looking for. But here's the Husingveld number 1 truck, the Chevrolet Silverado of Alex McCullum, putting on pressure now for the race lead. And this is exactly where Alex McCullum belongs, but he's having some internet issues. You saw the blinking that time out of turn 2, and problems for Tommy Gossett. He's coming into pit.
Something amiss for the 3 truck. He is going to pit there from the top 5. Looks like there's no obvious hindering damage on that number 3 truck. I can't imagine why he's coming down.
He over-revved. He cooked the motor. He's smoking out the back of the truck. He has actually blown that engine running 2nd gear so much. So we were just talking about it being a smart move. Apparently not. Don't run only 2nd gear in these trucks, it seems.
They are not built for that, and
it let go right there at a turn 4.
Wow.
That's where it started to let go. It got him back around the lap. Let's go back one more time and see if we can get a better listen as to when this motor lets go. Just listen along. And right there. And there's smoke. It's not as obvious as it used to be. A couple of years ago, it'd be billowing out of the back of that number 3 truck, but you would heard a big crunch. But yeah, it just lightly let go, and that was it for Tommy Gossett.
Yeah, Gossett, no fast repairs. It'd take a while to repair that. So that is done for the number 3 machine, and what looked like a smart move, and maybe that was more of a move if he thought this race was just going to be caution after caution the entire way through. But that green flag run was not very beneficial there to the 3. McCullum has lost a little bit of touch there with Colton Davis and is now under attack from Matt Cucker.
Yeah, these two nearing each other now. Trucks 1 and 20, or 1 and 12 rather, as again Matt Cucker scored his truck 10, but running with the number 12 on the side of his vehicle. And I mean, just tons of blinking here for Alex. I wonder if he's going to get up out of the way, and yes, he will. So he lets Matt Cucker go on through. I think Alex, realizing the extent of the internet issues for him there, and pulls over nicely. So now, Emerson, we get to really watch and see if Matt's going to be able to run down our leader of Colton Davis. It's nearly a second the gap, and we're nearly halfway.
Yeah, certainly. I believe Cucker has definitely gotten used to the truck running here at Five Flags. He's just steadily worked his way through the field here, and kind of in his natural habitat once he's into this part of the race. So we'll see if he can work his magic there. It is just over a 1 second deficit, flashed to 1.1 seconds there through the center of 1 and 2, and we'll see if that starts to drop over the course of the race. Only 13 trucks left and only 12 on the lead lap now. They are dropping like flies out there. A little bit of an endurance race feel.
Yeah, down to 13 trucks, as you mentioned. Tommy Gossett, the most recent to drop out. Jeb Jones before him, then Vicente Salas before him. Blade Simmons, John Gifford, John Allett, and Garrett Maines, other drivers that started this event but have not, have already pulled their trucks out and have left the speedway. Here's a battle right behind, well, this is actually a lot of trucks going after it, and one lap truck is involved in this. This is Dustin Monburquette in the middle. That's that black truck in the number 16. But the two sandwiching him are Rich Petrucco, and it looks like the 87 of Eric McCarthy, and that was real sideways that time at a 4 for the 16.
Right, and there's no rule for him to move out of the way, but I'm sure McCarthy is desperately wanting him to, so he can continue on with his battle, and he might do it himself.
Halfway down, halfway to go, and McCarthy got very close that time at a turn 3. Nearly got into the back end of Monburquette and turned him around, but thankfully no contact. Unfortunately, McCarthy continues to lose touch with Petrucco for 9th. Up front, well, at least further up front, is Robert Lawrence working on Mario Urcolani. This is for 7th.
And Robert Lawrence, he's up here in that 8th position. Remember, he started last. He started shotgun on the field this evening, and he is steadily worked his way through. He's avoided a lot of damage tonight, and is working pretty well here through the first half of the race and into the second half, sizing up Urcolani.
On board here with Lawrence in the 5, and McCullum continues to work further and further back in this field. Losing time and just giving it up. Here we go. Let's Joel Smith go by on the inside. Just trying to play smart with the internet issues there for McCullum, but he wants to stay in this race in case it works itself out. And I want to check in with Colton Davis. He's now got a 1.6 second lead, Emerson, but let's check with the telemetry and see what gear he's running. He's running second, but does he maybe have one gear higher, you know, just a little bit of a longer second gear so that he's not on the chip so much and not running this motor hot?
Potentially, Andrew. They could have been running very similar setups, but maybe Tommy was more aggressive with the gearing in his truck, or if Colton Davis just out front and he doesn't have any dirty air, not really anything blocking any air going to the front of the truck, and is not as pressured out here, so he does not have to run as hard. Maybe Colton is just able to take better care of the motor.
Closest battle on track currently is Lawrence and Urcolani as one truck comes into the pit lane. That is McCullum. I think finally calling it a day, unfortunately, on lap 58. And he's not alone, actually. Monburquette also comes in and pits. And they are both done.
Yeah, that's unfortunate there for McCullum. McCullum looked very fast, worked his way through the field pretty quickly, got up to the rear end of Colton Davis, but couldn't do anything with it, especially when the internet connection came into play. He was more than anything kind of just forced to ride around. I'm sure he did not want to do that.
Now 11 trucks remain on lap 59 of 100. We're watching Urcolani and Lawrence battle for the 6th spot. And I gotta say, I'm impressed. I had no clue what Urcolani was going to be like, but he has been strong in this race, worked himself into the 6th position now, just one spot out of the top 5, and is holding off Lawrence rather nicely, both in a couple of Toyotas. And just those bobbles, though, out of turn 4, they're starting to get a little more scary for the 41. He keeps getting further and further out there. Oh, and that was a big bobble for Lawrence.
That was huge. If you're Lawrence, you don't want to be too aggressive, though, because again, I guess at this point you're planning to go to the end on this set of tires anyway, but they don't have any set of tires in the pits, so you don't want to be over aggressive. You don't want to burn up your stuff and then kind of be out of luck in the final 20 laps or so. You want to play this smart, let the opportunity come to you and not do things like that where you make the rear end and the right rear happy.
Meanwhile, ahead of these guys, as they continue to duke it out about 2.5 tenths apart, this is truck number 24, Joel Smith, and this is a local Legends driver to the Virginia, North Carolina area. Been running summer shootout for the last couple of years at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and a big part of the Race EPI family. It's been really interesting as somebody who covers Legends racing in real life. I'm lucky enough to do it. Watching Joel come up through the ranks and come up through Bandoleros into Legend Cars now, he's rather impressive to watch. I really do enjoy seeing where his career is going so far, and who knows, you know, the sky is the limit. We've seen so many NASCAR Cup Series drivers come from Legend Car racing, and I think it's perfectly reasonable to imagine that Joel Smith ends up, at the very least, in a truck looking pretty much like that at some point. Of course, GMS is very quick to tap into local driver talent, and very well could pick up a guy like Joel Smith someday.
I mean, why not? Could this be, you know, the opening to a resume here? Doing pretty well. Has kept himself alive and well in this race, and he's trying to chase down Matthew Boniface there for that 4th position, who's just under a second up the road. And that's pretty attainable here in the next 33 laps. It's just if Joel's going to be able to do it.
Meanwhile, you can see Lawrence has gotten by Ercolani. That's for 6th spot, and now Ercolani's starting to really drop away from that truck, losing a lot of time, and actually he's going to drop back to guys like Rich Petrucco and Eric McCarthy, and even Eli Childs, all 3 of them in a line down the back straightaway. This is 8th, 9th, and 10th. And a caution. Kyle Ammon turned around to the back straightaway. This properly, Emerson, changes. Just when it looked like maybe we'd go back green the entire way, that changes everything.
Certainly, and the thing is, Andrew, nobody can pit for fresh tires. So the restart is going to be 70-lap old tires for everybody. But let's see what happened first to Kyle Ammon.
In the 51, Buzz Chew machine up out of turn 2, just gets loose, and the truck whips right around on him. And that is a quick spin for that Chevrolet Silverado, and it brings out the caution that I don't think the leaders wanted to see by any means, unless you're Matt Cucker. Now he gets a chance to reset and get back after Colton Davis here on the restart.
Yeah,
this
Matt
is really
Cucker,
big.
Absolutely. I don't really know what Matt Cucker was doing there, because he got cleared the second, and he was only a second back. Colton Davis, he ended up being 4 seconds back when the caution came out. Now, there's a couple things that could be, you know, maybe Cucker did burn up his stuff trying to work through the field, as maybe he's not as used to the truck. But what might have been more or less happening there is Cucker was just taking it easy. Once he was cleared a second, probably felt he did not have the pace to immediately get Colton Davis, and was trying to play the long game, try to save the tires maybe for a moment just like this. And we'll see here if Cucker has anything on those 4 Goodyear Eagles to do anything with the 20 truck in front.
Multiple guys in the pit lane. Petrucco is in, McCarthy is in, and Ammon, of course, is in for repairs as well. And it looks like Petrucco, well, I'm not sure about Petrucco. I think he's in repairs, but McCarthy, I think, came in just for fuel to maybe weigh the rear of the truck back down. Kind of an on-the-fly setup adjustment.
That too, right? So you were able to adjust a little bit in these trucks. Maybe, you know, the truck was starting to feel a little tight there. You had to make a little bit of a spring adjustment. But more of anything, yeah, that fuel is going to weigh the rear end of the truck down. It's going to make it a little bit easier on throttle coming up off the corner with the rear tires just in contact with the track more.
That was a long green flag run. We've had 5 cautions, though, now for 21 laps. That'll work up to 23, it looks like, by the end of this caution period. It's been a good race. I think it really has. It was slow going for the first 15 or so, but once we got through that 15, 20-lap period of cautions, it's been really good to watch these guys battle it out, especially in these eNASCAR trucks here at Five Flag Speedway. And let's just talk about, once again, Emerson, how this is filling a nice hole on Week 13. There isn't as much organized racing happening this week. Of course, everybody wants to shake down those shiny new cars and tracks, but this is a really cool experience to watch these guys fight on Week 13 and have something special going on.
Yeah, and again, you know, I think the other point of that was this week was from EPI was to shine some light on some, you know, car and track combos that don't get as much love here on the sim, and I am loving this.
Green flag back out. It's a slow restart for Cucker up top, and he bunches way into the 4th position, quickly going backwards. Bailey Dutton through to 2nd, Joel Smith to 3rd. The top line went nowhere. Colton Davis already has a 6/10 of a second lead. 75 laps complete, 25 to go.
Now Dutton now in that position, that could be the one to take advantage if he has anything saved up on those tires. Matt Cucker, a disastrous restart. And we got racing further on back here. Petrucco and Ercolani going at it.
It's a line of trucks back to Petrucco and Ercolani's battles. They're side by side for the 8th spot. Digging on the top side is Petrucco. Digging down low is the 41 of Ercolani. Petrucco, I think, has the edge right now on the top side. As, yes, he will take that spot away. That is 8th position now for truck 27. But up front, Bailey Dutton, Joel Smith. Here's Joel Smith battling now with Matt Cucker side by side on the back straightaway. Cucker working on that bottom. And he's nearly got back alongside, but he's just not quite there.
Yeah, if Cucker's going to win this race, he's got to get through these guys quick. Really a missed opportunity there by not going on the restart here. Loses those couple spots. And no slouches that got in between himself and Colton Davis either. Bailey Dutton, Joel Smith, doing pretty well this evening. And Cucker is going to have to really work these guys over. He's going to get through them.
I'm not sure if you saw it, Emerson, but that time through 3 and 4, a big bobble for Cucker as well. Right in the center of the corner, he just kind of went up the racetrack, and Boniface gained a lot of time. But that lap, Cucker was faster, and I think he's truly faster than the 2 trucks in front of him. I'm not sure if he's fast enough to catch Colton Davis now, though, inside of 20 laps to go.
And that's a tough feeling. You feel you're faster than the truck in front, but your windshield's just filled with their rear tailgate, and there's not a whole lot you can do, and unless you want to start using that chrome horn, that front bumper of yours, to kind of get a move on here. But Cucker looks like he's electing to not do that right away here. As he go to the inside of 20 laps to go, it's still trying to find a way around Joel Smith. Here comes Boniface.
Boniface with a quick effort, but it kind of fizzles out quickly. Meanwhile, Eric McCarthy working on Rich Petrucco. This is for 8th position as Ercolani has fallen into 10th. That truck is torn up and worn out. Cucker still working on this 3rd spot to get back into the top 3, but I agree with you, Emerson. He really messed up that restart. We saw it. We'll have to get a replay maybe on social media later. Just completely lost all chance he has at the race win unless we get a big caution here in the last 16 laps of action, as we now have 16 to go at Five Flag Speedway. Just a big missed opportunity for Matt. There's really no other way to put it. Had a great run going, was 2nd place, had a chance on the restart, and just got gamed by Colton Davis.
Absolutely. Colton Davis played it beautifully, and now Cucker looking to the inside of Joel Smith to try to at least salvage a podium on the night. Now with 15 laps to go in the race, Cucker trying to get that run up off the corner, but Joel Smith placing that truck beautifully, not allowing Cucker to get the 3rd line, and now Cucker diving it down inside of the quarter panel of the 2 truck. Can't stick it.
Oh, and Joel got the fence that time down the front stretch. 14 laps to go, and the 24 is starting to wear out. This time, Cucker gets right up to the tailgate there. Maybe some contact.
Yeah, Cucker is following Joel into the corner, wanted to get that arc off to get the exit. Now he gets down there. To the inside goes Cucker. He has to check up there on the exit.
Nearly contact that time through 1 and 2. Petrucco loses the spot, meanwhile, to Eric McCarthy, as we've got 12 laps to go. This is the battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th on the racetrack. Matt Cucker continuously hounding the 24 of Joel Smith.
And Joel, with the exception of that bobble right there, looks very calm. Doesn't look bothered by Matt Cucker at all. Knows that his line is going to do him wonders. And really the only way Cucker's going to get through here is if he starts to use up that 24. Dives it down to the inside. He'll try to get that grip. He'll try to throttle up off the corner. Now he's alongside. He'll have a huge dive here into 3.
And that time, Cucker did a lot of work on the back straightaway. Got down to the inside of Joel Smith. Nearly had him cleared that time in 3 and 4. This time, he might have him, but the outside is prevailing for a moment. This is really good stuff between these two. 10 laps to go. We'll have 9 at the start-finish. Nearly even between these two for the 3rd spot.
Joel Smith fighting valiantly on that top side. He is really giving it all he's got up there, trying to see if he can take that spot back. He's now get the advantage coming up out of turn 2. Cucker still working his truck down on the bottom side and trying to get up off the corner sideways, and loses the position once again.
Another bobble on a Cucker, and he loses that spot back to Joel Smith. Meanwhile, up front, worth mentioning, Colton Davis He's led just about every single lap. In fact, I think he has led every single lap. Yes, he has, as he completes lap number 93 in the 27. He will soon, it looks like, take a win. 1.8 seconds over this guy, the 26 of Bailey Dutton, who made his first appearance in this EPI Speed Week last night with the big block modifieds. It's a lot of fun to watch him battle with everybody else in that race. As here we go, side by side once again for third.
All of his battling is allowing Matthew Boniface and Robert Lawrence to get in on the action. Everybody wants a piece of the pie here for the final spot on the podium. Right now, Joel Smith holding that spot.
Oh, Cucker's in deep, and he goes for a slide, saves it, but he's going to lose all chance at third. Now he's got to defend fourth, 5 laps to go, and they're stacked up. 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Eli Childs now added, and Boniface wants on by the 12.
And he wants to get through now because those tires are hot there on the 10 truck. Get through them now. He's got to get down to the inside, dive it in there. Make Cucker trust his tires right now. Can't take advantage of it. Cucker's going to be able to cool off his tires and maybe have a chance to defend it out here in the last few laps. Oh, a little bit of defense there for Boniface.
Yeah, the 95 caught the wall down the back straightaway. That allows Robert Lawrence to catch back up, catches the wall again, does Boniface, and here comes Lawrence to the inside, fighting tooth and nail just outside of the top 5. Actually, to get into the top 5 as Lawrence has a slide once again. Eli Childs pulls up, and even McCarthy and Petrucco are catching these guys. Meanwhile, it's popsicle sticks for Colton Davis in truck 20. He's got just under him. In fact, really, about a half mile to go as we're going to take the white flag presented by Whiplash Simcams.
A brilliant drive from Colton Davis, a well-deserved run to this point, and he's been perfect from the start of the race, holding station and doing his thing to hold on to that top spot.
Looks like there's been a crash in that battle just inside of the top 10, but up front, it is all checkered flag for truck 27. Colton Davis goes to victory lane and picks up $100 in the trucks here for EPI Speed Week of 5 flags.
Joel Smith does hold on to that final podium position. It's Boniface rounding out the top 5, and what a wild battle there it was for that final spot on the podium. But all Colton Davis, well-deserved victory here at 5 flags, and maybe we'll even get a little bit of celebration out of him.
Yeah, Davis on the front straightaway in his number 27 Chevrolet Silverado, and I think he's going to burn it down here in just a second, or is he not going to? I mean, it's iRacing. You don't have to save that motor, Colton. Yes, he's going to line up the rears and go for a bit of a burnout here in the Garza Law Firm number 27. A really stellar effort. Led every single lap en route to victory.
And a pretty dominant performance, absolutely. He did everything right. You know, he qualified on pole. You know, as I mentioned, if you can start up front and stay up front, you're going to finish up front. And he played the restart, especially that last one, beautifully, facing probably his biggest competitor of the night there, Matt Cucker, and got him out of the picture, and he ran away with it.
With 100 laps of racing out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at our unofficial race results. Colton Davis leads every single lap this evening at 5 flags and wins by nearly 2.8 seconds over Bailey Dutton. Joel Smith goes 3rd, Matt Cucker 4th, Matthew Boniface 5th. We'll get a replay before we end the show of that battle with everybody else here with Matt Cucker, Matthew Boniface, and even Eli Childs, who finishes 6th over Mario Urcolani and Rich Petrucco. There must have been an issue between McCarthy and Lawrence. Maybe even Boniface and Lawrence, as Lawrence ends up 10th, 1 lap down. McCarthy just hangs on to the lead lap behind Petrucco there.
Yeah, 11th, it's going to be Kyle Ammon, the last truck to finish, really. He's 1 lap down. Alex McCullum there in the 1 truck finishes 43 laps off the pace. Dustin Momberquette finishes 13th. Tommy Gossett blows the engine. He'll come home 14th. Jeb Jones 15th. Vicente Salas after a black cleared. Didn't get it. He dipped out of here. 79 laps down. Blake Timmons finishes 17th. John Owlett 18th. John Gifford and Garrett Maines round out the top 20.
Justin Laxton, the only other driver to show up and qualify, but does not make the start of tonight's race. And Laxton, actually, I have to check my notes. I think he might have been the other admin. Yeah, I was just going to say, yes, Justin Laxton, the other admin. So he was, well, that's why he didn't qualify or didn't race, actually. So Laxton, I guess he gets credit then for finishing 21st. We'll call it that, as 20 trucks make the call tonight. Colton Davis led every single lap en route to victory. Let's bring in driver of the 27 machine. And Colton, every single lap led. It's not often you see that on the report here after a race. How'd you manage that?
Oh, we just started up front and we had a really good car under us. And, had some pressure on early there from Alex. And I kind of thought he was going to get by me because I knew he had a longer gear in it. But I just evened out after about 10 laps and we just set sail from there.
And of course, you shared the front row with your teammate, Tommy Gossett. Was there a difference in gear between your guys' trucks, or were you guys running things differently as his engine expired early?
No, there was no difference. I don't know. I don't know how we blew up. I was actually running more tape than him. We were on the same gear. I guess maybe traffic made that big of a difference, but I'm not really sure what happened.
And how big of a debate was it, I guess, to choose which gear to go for? Of course, when you start lengthening the gear, so you're only running 1 or 2 or even 3 gears sometimes, you get more options as you have more lengths of gear. What were you guys looking for specifically?
We were just trying to make sure that the car stayed chipped out the entire run. I initially thought this race was 50 laps, so we kind of set up for that, but once I knew it was longer, it was a really easy decision on what we ran.
Well, there you go. Colton Davis takes home 100 laps led and $100 as well. Colton, congratulations. Hopefully we'll see you later in the week.
All right, thank you. I just got to give a quick shout out to Ken Byron and everyone at Ryko for helping me out on the setup. It was a rocket ship.
That it was, and Colton Davis goes to victory lane this evening at Five Flags Speedway. Congratulations to him. Let's bring in, though, Bailey Dutton, runner-up here in the trucks at Five Flags.
Yeah, a little bit of a quiet night for Bailey Dutton, but comes home with the second place finish this evening. Bailey, a pretty wild race with all the cautions early on. You start 5th, end up in 2nd. How about it?
Yeah, I'm not going to complain about it. That was a battle of attrition.
Absolutely, and it was 100 laps here tonight with no extra sets of tires in the pits. How'd you play the tire game here tonight?
I feel like I played it maybe a little bit too safe. Kind of let Colton get out to a pretty good gap, and then it is a little too far to try to run him down. I was just kind of hoping for a late race caution to try to pounce at the end, but we'll take 2nd.
And then on that final restart, with about 30 laps to go, what you see there? Were you able to just go on Colton, or what was happening?
I saw my life flash before my eyes. He spun his tires, and he got a little sideways, and it kind of stacked up the outside. So that's what allowed me to get 2nd. But a scary moment for sure, because I saw the side of his car coming down. So I'm just glad he didn't. I'm glad he kept control, and we all kept going forward.
There you go. Everyone there on that final restart survives. Bailey, you get out to clear at the 2nd position, and you come home 2nd. Congratulations then on the 2nd place finish this evening, and yeah, best luck to you if you run any more races this week.
Thank you.
Bailey Dutton goes home 2nd place, but how about Joel Smith? This will be the first time we bring in legend sensation Joel Smith at Summer Shootout. Joel, how you doing tonight?
Good, how you doing?
Pretty good. It looks like you actually had a fantastic evening, 19th to 3rd. First of all, how do you manage that and not get caught up in that mess at the start?
Just had to make sure that I just didn't step on it half the time, and just made sure that just avoided all the wrecks and made sure I didn't die half the time, because it was pretty wild. The first couple laps, everybody was just wrecking, and I just tried to make sure I didn't get caught up in that, and made sure I saved my stuff.
And towards the back end of that race, that last restart, how about that with Matt Cucker on the outside, missed the restart. What was it like trying to jockey for position and move your way forward and eventually get the top 3?
It was crazy. I was just trying to make sure that I held on to it, and that was a really fun racing with Matt. He drove me clean, I drove him clean, which that was pretty cool that we had that good of a battle. But it was pretty interesting, because I knew I didn't have the tires that he had, and I just had to make sure I saved it and just made sure I held my spot.
And of course, you're one of the main boys, if you will, here, main guys, whatever you want to call it here at Elite Performance Industries. What is this event like for you as one of the setup builders in Legends and just one of the main people, I guess, behind the scenes at EPI? This kind of feels like a big hole in Week 13, gives everybody something to do more than just shake down a few new cars and tracks. This feels kind of special and feels like it could go on for a few seasons at the very least, if not a few years.
Yeah, it's very it's a very special thing just to do. Like, considering it's week 13 and all that, it was really awesome that Tyler Payne got to put this whole deal on, and we got to do this. But it's a pretty special to run this and get a top 3 out of it, and it's a pretty awesome event that he hosted.
Now we've got Pro and Super Late Models on dirt tomorrow night, then Modified Saturday, Late Models Sunday. What are you looking forward to? Where should we watch for Car 24?
I might run the Pros tomorrow, and then I might run the Late Models and Supers on, I believe, Saturday.
Well, Joel, congratulations on the top 3 tonight. Hopefully we'll see you more this weekend, and best of luck when we do see you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Joel Smith goes home 3rd place this evening, a pretty solid run for the number 24. And Emerson, let's go back actually and see what happened at the back end of this race, the very last lap or so. It's going to be difficult to bring it up, but we're going to give it a shot here. And let's see, going to go back one more lap and let it play out. So this is going to be, actually I think it might have already happened. Let's see. Just at this point, I think it's already happened for Robert Lawrence in the 11. He's actually backwards at this point, so there's a lot for us to try and figure out.
Yeah, and you saw him backing up there, trying to get it across the line and maybe bring it back around. There again, this is a very tight battle between Boniface and Lawrence and Childs. Everybody kind of stacked up here as Joel Smith and Cucker were really getting after it here, and a little bit up the track there was the 5 of Boniface, and still coming down into the corner.
And Lawrence goes around just like that, and right into the inside wall, catches McCarthy and Petrucco, and that was coming to the white flag for these guys, so he gets lapped here in a moment by the race winner, Colton Davis. There goes Colton to take the checkered flag, and Lawrence comes across and finishes the race in reverse. It's not every day you see that.
Yeah, he was trying to beat the leader back to the line, could not do that, and but still, to back it up across the line and the top 10, that's definitely something that doesn't happen.
This is from McCarthy's point of view for this incident, and you'll see the 5 just kind of go around, and there's really nowhere to go. He goes up the track and just gets caught there, and then you see Petrucco get involved, and a really tough way for those guys to end their nights.
Yeah, Lawrence was just trying to keep it off the inside wall, kept sliding, slid, kind of prolonged the slide into the outside wall, ricocheted back across the track, and McCarthy did the right thing, trying to go up high to avoid him, but just couldn't avoid the ricochet there.
Here's the onboard for Petrucco. He's going to broadside the spinning truck of Lawrence out of turn 4. And this is, again, coming to the white flag for these guys. McCarthy gets caught, and Petrucco eventually just nowhere to go. Even if he had gone high there, he would have found the side of the 87, and they would not have had a good time. That said, Emerson, that does it. That's all the racing action from Five Flags this evening. It was a whole lot of fun, as always. And what are your takeaways from this one? Trucks on Five Flags here, 100 laps. It was pretty good.
It looks like these trucks do pretty well around here. I think the trucks on the bumps is a lot of fun to watch. I think these drivers, they obviously a little bit of a difficult start. Find the track a little difficult, which is a good thing, though. You don't want it to be too easy, and yeah, it was a lot of fun tonight. Definitely needs to be ran more on some more stock car racing schedules.
Well, this is exactly what I think the trucks should be doing, and this could spark a whole debate, I think, and we could really kind of take this and run with it, maybe a podcast idea someday, but this is the kind of track where the NASCAR trucks belong, in my opinion. I think they should be at short tracks like this, connecting with local fan bases, running alongside their stars and their late models and what have you, and maybe take a page out of the SRX book. Maybe some teams should bring star trucks where, you can throw in a local hero, one of the local drivers, and, you go up to Wisconsin, one of those tracks up there, call it... what's the track called?
Slinger would be amazing.
There is Slinger. You could go to Dells is what I was thinking of. You could take the trucks up to Dells and have Luke Fenhouse go ham in a truck up there. You could, of course, Majeski's now full-time in the truck, so that's kind of a moot point. But you could go anywhere in this country. You could even go up to Canada, go up to some of the short tracks up there. I know Jukasa is no longer a track that Pinty's goes to, but you could go to plenty of tracks that the Pinty Series goes to, run, put some of the Pinty Series drivers in trucks, run alongside the Pinty Series, whatever. You have so many endless possibilities. But this is where trucks belong. Short tracks like this, inside of a mile, particularly with only a few races on the big speedways, this is where trucks feel at home.
Yeah, certainly. Maybe you leave into the Daytona season opener and a couple of the mile and a halves to keep the national series feel. But certainly, and that's another point you brought up with Pinty's. That'd be so cool to see a couple truck race events run alongside a couple Pinty's weekends, maybe a couple NASCAR Mexico Series weekends. That would be wild.
Yeah, there's plenty of places just in the Carolinas where I live, personally, that I could think of trucks racing. Florence Motor Speedway, where Dale Earnhardt Jr. just made his big start in the South Carolina 400 recently. Of course, they are going to be going back to Wilkesboro, so that's a good start. There's places like Tri-County Speedway, Hickory Motor Speedway, that's now on the sim here on iRacing.com. Those are the kinds of tracks where these trucks, I feel, truly belong, reconnecting with grassroots racing, reconnecting with the history of NASCAR at tracks like that, and even the future of NASCAR, I think, should be in short track racing at short tracks like Five Flags Speedway. Why not have an exhibition race for trucks down alongside the Snowball Derby? Maybe make it a truck all-star race. Take 10 or 12 of those guys down there and have like a 25 or 50 lap exhibition, make some TV out of it alongside the Snowball Derby. That would be so cool to see. But that's going to do it for us here at Five Flags this evening. Again, upcoming shows here at Pit Stop TV. I know it says Thursday above the modifieds. Don't worry about that. It should be Saturday. Point being, this is what we've got the next few days. Tonight, it is Thursday evening, 8:30 Eastern. We're going to have North American Racing League action from VIR, and that all gets kicked off in, well, just under an hour. Tomorrow night, Pro and Super Late Models back on Dirt of Volusia, and then we're back to pavement for the rest of the weekend. Pensacola, USA with modifieds on Saturday and late models on Sunday.
Yeah, a lot of fun combinations. Volusia has been phenomenal the last couple nights, and I like what I saw tonight here with the trucks. Can't wait to see what the modifieds do on Saturday. But really ready to get going here in the next hour for NARL at VIR. Again, one of the final times you're going to see Oak Tree, and yeah, you won't want to miss any of the action there. Keep up with all of our social media updates this evening. You can check those out at our Facebook page at facebook.com/pitstoptv, our Instagram at pit_stop_TV, our Twitter at pitstoptv_, our YouTube channel, of course, youtube.com/c/pitstoptv1. And we were live on Twitch this evening, and we will be live later at twitch.tv/pit_stop_TV.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. It surely has been a pleasure here with Elite Performance Industries and EPI Speedweek. This has been so much fun, and I think I speak for more than just myself, Emerson. It's been a lot of fun, and we had Zach Murtis here on Monday with racing when we kicked off here at Five Flags. Again, this is the kind of thing that iRacing needs more of, these kind of short track events throughout the course of a week, especially on week 13. This is what we want to see more of on iRacing in general, and I know this is put on by EPI, but we see other setup shops getting involved, bringing out their house drivers and kind of going toe-to-toe, and it's pretty cool to see this kind of community effort in some of these races. We had 23 trucks enter tonight, and that's really nice to see. We had really stiff competition. Garrett Maines out there, Vicente Salas, no, they didn't go very deep in the race. They had issues early, but Alex McCullum on that list as well. Matt Cucker, very strong drivers. Even Colton Davis, very, very strong drivers. Battling in this race, leading this race, and winning this race in the form of Colton Davis. Really cool to see.
Absolutely. Again, there was a lot of talent in this field. Unfortunately, a good bunch of that talent got taken out in some of the early incidents. But yeah, very talented field. Great to see all these personalities come together. It was a fantastic race, and hope we can get more of it.
Once again, thanks for joining us here at Pit Stop TV. A big shout out to our partners here at the channel, Whiplash Media, SimCams, SimWrapMarket.com, and Permanent Makeup in Cryo in Maine. That is going to do it for us this evening from Five Flags Speedway. Thanks so much for watching. We hope to see you again soon, hopefully later this evening from Virginia International Raceway with the North American Racing League GT3 Season number 4. If not, hopefully we see you tomorrow for Pros and Supers from Volusia Speedway Park. It'll be a whole lot of fun. Hope to see you there.